My work in 5 words, I'd say colourful, seductive, funny, dark and disturbing. I'm Rachel Maclean. I'm a video artist from Scotland. I think there is a lot of visual references in my work, and in lots of ways it's a mashup of different things. So a lot of my work uses pink and kind of the aesthetic of little girls' toys, or emojis and kids' toys and Disney princess Barbie. So I'm interested in generally this kind of infantilization of the adult world. So there's something that feels quite cutesy and saccharine about the imagery that I use. However, there's also always something that is a little bit grotesque or horrific, and something that's disturbing or disquieting or leaves you feeling a little bit unsettled. So I like the idea of you pull people in and then you push them back out again. I want audiences to feel seduced by my work, and I want it to feel immersive so that they almost enter into the world of the film. And to do that, I use a lot of the language of pop culture, and I think a lot of popular culture is like that it almost becomes banal. Advertising and the news and everything comes to us in the form of images, almost kind of scratching the surface on a lot of the kind of glossiness of contemporary pop culture, and hopefully revealing something more disturbing or sinister leaves people with a slightly different perspective on things that they're otherwise very familiar with.
I instantly thought you were fantastic. Your performance made me too happy. I made a decision based on that, and the decision that I have made is...
I think culturally we very easily or quickly dismiss anything that looks feminine or refers to girlishness or childhood girlishness. So I'm interested in using those colours and almost challenging an audience to take them seriously. I kind of started, I think, playing all the roles myself. Really the first video I made, it was more inspired by performance art and the idea that you feature yourself and your body in your work, and that's what it's about. And quite quickly I realised that I think I wasn't really interested in depicting me, but I was interested in how easy it was to become other people on screen. There's danger in the way that we bring up little girls, kind of fairy tale myth that runs through almost all the toys that are available for girls, which is this idea that you're just training yourself to be attractive to men, and ultimately your life is geared towards marriage or geared towards finding a handsome prince. However, I don't think fairy tales themselves are necessarily the problem. I think that there's a potential for fairy tales to be anything, and I think that maybe it's about keeping the seduction and imagination of a fairy tale without it having to be tied to this sense of control of a sense of what little girls imagine to be the opportunities in their life. I think for me it's important that I'm a female artist and I make work that comes from a female point of view. Growing up, I probably, like a lot of women, felt very anxious about my appearance, and I think that they're always gated off in this kind of fantasy realm, and we buy perfumes and things in pursuit of this ideal because it makes us feel so inadequate, but we're never going to get it, and that necessitates the need to constantly be buying more things just to try and get closer and closer to this notion of an ideal life or an ideal beauty. And I think that consumerism has done a lot to exacerbate anxieties in women. Like, I don't think women didn't need to shave their armpits until they invented a razor to do it with, and then they made women feel anxious, and then suddenly they created a market for razors.
How do we make the world a better place? At BU, we believe it's what's on the inside that counts. Making cuts in the right places so that we can turn sustainable resources into data. Data that can be recycled again and again and again.
At some level, I think capitalism necessitates inequality, and feminism is about equality. So there's something that doesn't quite square with an adoption of feminism into consumer capitalism for me. And I think feminism is a radical idea, and it's slightly depressing to just see the potential for radical ideas just to be kind of absorbed and spat back out as products. Potentially, I think there's definitely a sense of that we can make ourselves into brands or commodify ourselves, and it's quite an extreme form of consumerism. I think it's a big problem when we start to see the fact that everything in life needs to be run for profit, because I think there's a lot of things, like culture being one of them, that we shouldn't view that way. I am sucked in by that, especially like you can't go on Instagram now without seeing, like, they must have figured out my algorithm to know exactly what things I want to buy, because it's very hard to resist buying things. So yeah, I'm totally a victim of this culture.